He was just a regular guy from IT. She, the operations manager, cold, precise, like a New York March morning in an empty office. They never exchanged words, never smiled. Just glances. Just tension. No one knew that one unexpected moment in the conference room would change everything. The tech support team sat tucked away on the second floor of an old municipal building in downtown Chicago. Time seemed slower there. Gray walls, the low hum of printers, the scent of stale coffee and dust-coated cables. That's where Nate worked, a 25-year-old software technician, tall, lean, with a slightly awkward gait and a permanent hint of irony in his eyes. Not a team favorite, more like ambient noise. He fixed things. Replaced toner, rescued deleted files from doomed drives. But outside the glow of his monitor, nobody paid him much attention, no one. Except her, Victoria Lawrence, or just V, as whispered in the break room, was the new operations manager. Early 40s. Sharp voice, sharper gaze. The kind of woman whose heels you heard before you saw her, whose presence seemed to shake the partitions as she passed. She'd only been with the firm for less than a year, but already ran it with a grip of iron. Most of the guys tiptoed around her. Some out of fear, some from quiet admiration. Nate didn't know how to react at first. He'd never met a woman who blended elegance and authority with such precision. Victoria was tall, poised like she'd once trained in ballet. Dark chestnut hair, always perfectly styled. A face of sharp lines and deep hazel eyes. She spoke with the calm of someone used to control, her words slow, deliberate, edged with something unspoken. She didn't need to raise her voice. One glance was enough, her figure drew attention even in the most conservative suits. Fitted jackets hugged her narrow waist, pencil skirts emphasized her hips and long legs. Even her hands, manicured, expressive, seemed like part of the performance. Nate noticed it all, but never let it show. From day one, she had him marked. If a monitor glitched in a meeting room, it was Nate's fault. If the printer stalled for 10 seconds, him again. She never yelled. Sometimes, she'd speak past him, as if addressing the air. Other times she came close enough for him to feel her breath against his ear. It irritated him. It thrilled him. Coworkers joked that Victoria was allergic to men who didn't bow at her feet. Nate never argued. He understood, being strong was her armor. And somehow, he had become her target. It wasn't fair, but a part of him admired her for it. There were whispers about her husband, a high-profile finance executive. Some said that they had a floor-to-ceiling home office with biometric locks. That she had a driver in the mornings but walked out alone at night. Nate never asked. He just observed. 2 weeks before his last day, he'd accepted a job at a relaxed startup in Austin. The days started to feel like a slow-motion loop. He'd soon forget Victoria's voice, her glances. But the thought didn't comfort him. That Friday, the office felt hollow. Most had clocked out early. Nate stayed behind under the pretense of setting up a projector for Monday's strategy briefing. Victoria always led those herself, seated like a queen at the head of the long conference table. He was buzzed. Leftover wine from lunch, maybe. Or maybe just tired of the unspoken tension between them. Acting on impulse, foolish, childish, he slipped under the table, hidden in shadow. Not out of malice. Just, something needed to break. Or release. His heart was hammering when the door opened. One by one, the team entered, chatting, unaware. Then she walked in. The click of her heels, her perfume, cool, fresh. A twist of citrus and white pepper hit him all at once. She moved like a force of nature, and then, her chair scraped the floor. She sat down. Right above him, he could see the contour of her legs, the faint sheen of her skin-tone tights. Her skirt, blouse, all within reach yet untouched. She moved as she spoke, shifting subtly. Her voice is clear, composed, echoed softly in the small space beneath the table. It was maddening. He should have backed out. But something held him there. Curiosity. Tension. The scent of her, the nearness of her, without thinking, he reached out barely, gently, brushing his fingers along her ankle. A whisper of contact. She flinched. But didn't move, didn't look, didn't stop. The meeting ended faster than usual. She rose, gathered her papers, and left, without a glance. Nate crawled out once everyone had gone. In his hand was a thin strip of elastic from her stocking. He had no idea how it got there. That evening, her assistant called him to her office. Supposedly the fax machine was down. The building was mostly empty by then. He knocked. Entered. She was behind her desk, back turned, reading something. Her hair was loose, no styled updo, just flowing. "Shut the door, please," she said. He did. Quietly. Heart pounding, she stood. Turned. A white blouse, slightly undone. Black skirt. She stepped closer, silent. Their eyes met. And held. "Was that some kind of joke?" she asked softly. He shook his head. "A challenge?" Again, he said nothing. She leaned in and kissed him, not with hunger, but something more like testing. He didn't pull away. Instead, he wrapped his arms around her waist, unsure if she'd push him off, but she leaned in. Later, she rested her head on his chest, quiet. He stroked her hair, not speaking. Not needing to. And for the first time, he understood, her armor was heavy. And all she wanted was not to be left behind.